Street minister Dominique Alexander is a bit hot under the collar. You want to know why? Apparently someone went on social media under the alias Jeff Metcalf, Austin Metcalf's father, and called a woman the N-word. And of course, Dominique totally fell for it. So in this video, Dominique is going to explain how he has tried so hard to keep racism out of the picture in the Karmelo Anthony case. But white supremacists like Jeff Metcalf foil his noble efforts. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
Yeah, Jeff Metcalf, you're a racist ass prick.
Fuck you, nigger fucking whore loving.
Now, perhaps it really was Jeff, but I'm kind of weird in that I don't trust everything I see on the internet, especially TikTok. There was a time when Gage Grosskreutz and I talked about having him on my show to talk about the Kyle Rittenhouse shootings. He graciously emailed pics of his driver's license and a valid CCW permit, both of which had his picture on them. I opened them in Photoshop and looked for any evidence that this was someone merely posing as Gage. Nope, it was definitely Gage. And if Gage had ever bothered to hop on my show, I would have detailed to my viewers how I was able to verify that it was him, because my subscribers would have demanded it. You see, unlike race baiters like Dominique Alexander and his followers, my subscribers grew up in an oxygen-rich environment, which promotes healthy brain development. So, Lord up, minister, continue on. And yes, he has always mispronounced Metcalf's last name. Why? At first, I thought it was just some weird speech impediment. Then I figured he was doing it on purpose just to diss the Metcalf family. Now, I just think he's stupid.
By calling her a right? The sad part is this is what we've been dealing with since the beginning of the case, right? When we first got this case, it was because of all of the racial tension that was around this case. And many looked at us like we were doing it. When I've been very careful with my words with this Karmelo Anthony case.
Yeah, if there's one thing that Dominique Alexander hates, it's when someone infuses racism into a case where race probably played no role at all.
Because these racist bigots try to prevent us from standing up for our baby, our boy.
But also at the same time, highlighting the obvious in this situation. Jeffrey Metcalf actions have been justified and yet grieving. And that's yet problematic because yet you still need to be held accountable for your behavior. And you don't get a pass on calling a black woman a bitch. You know what I mean? And so, quote my words, you don't get that pass.
Hey, Dominique, why not first verify that it was Jeff before making these claims? Keep in mind, I think Dominique knows it wasn't Jeff. He doesn't care. When have the race baiters ever cared? Rashad Ritchie knew damn well that the cops didn't shoot Andre Fortson, yet he titled his video, Cops Shoot Andre Fortson. And yes, during the video he actually admits that it wasn't the cops that shot Andre, but he kept the title intact. He doesn't care about the truth, and neither does Dominique Alexander.
And yet it is a disrespect, very disrespect to the delicacy of this situation. But at the end of the day, this is one of the reasons why the father of Karmelo Anthony has repeatedly asked this man, stop coming to his job, stop harassing him. He don't want to talk to you. Him coming to my office, even being asked to leave more than several times.
According to Dominique Alexander, Jeff Metcalf has harassed both Carmelo's father and Dominique. What does that mean? Well, it probably means that Jeff Metcalf has harassed neither Carmelo's father nor Dominique, Because when it comes to race baiters, every day is opposites day.
This erratic behavior has not been checked because it's yet fueled by a movement of hate, right? And so, with this being a very delicate case, we've been trying to respond and make sure that we respond that does not hurt Karmelo Anthony in his case of his defense, right?
You could have started by not having the grieving father of the kid Carmelo killed thrown out of the press conference. By doing that, you showed that you wanted this to be a race war. You don't make money off of peace. You crave strife. When Jeff showed up at the Anthony's press conference, you saw his olive branch as a threat. The last thing you needed was for the Anthonys and the Metcalfs to pull out tambourines and guitars and sing in sweet harmony. So you decided to take the initiative and have him tossed out. Then you had the nerve to get in front of a microphone and claim Jeff was the disrespectful one. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at the face of pure evil. No, I'm not talking about my face. No, I'm talking about this dude right here. And if you think I'm going too far, just remember he's a baby shaker. That's right. He nearly killed a toddler by shaking him so violently that he gave him permanent brain damage. He's a convicted, violent felon.
Right? But I just want people to know, he's showing his true colors, and let him keep on being this crash dummy, keep on talking and doing what he's doing. He's only showing the world his true colors. And the reality is that I don't care what nobody says about me saying this, right? The reality is the reality. He don't get a pass. It's not okay for him to call a black female a
But it's okay for you to violently attack a toddler, isn't it, Sir Hypocrite?
And yet, if anybody feel like that is okay, you can go to hell. And so, with that being said, I just wanted to make sure that people heard from me what is going on. This is one of the reasons why all of the false lies is continuing to be spreaded regarding the Karmelo Anthony case, right? These hateful agenda, these platforms, these white supremacist platforms that are created where these people have these large followings, y'all, that I've never heard of a day in my life, right? And all of them are so-called journalists, and they got breaking news, and they got all this. Like, we have to wake up and realize what is currently going on in America, right?
And combat this misinformation from white supremacists by creating our own fake platforms with fake guests masquerading as those we hate so that we can spew more lies about them on social media. And who do we hate? Whiteys. That's what this is about. Jeff Metcalf is white. And Dominique Alexander hates white people. He absolutely does. Does he care if Carmelo is innocent? No. Carmelo stabbed a white kid to death. In Dominique's eyes, that's fine. And I'm not exaggerating. He literally supports Carmelo's actions, right or wrong. Whether Carmelo was truly defending himself or not doesn't factor into his reasoning. He doesn't care. And for the record, this will go to trial. We'll find out. If it comes forth that Carmelo was in fact defending himself, fine, we will find out. And by the way, you can throw in all the other race baiters in there with him. Ben Crump and Al Sharpton and Rashad Ritchie and Richard Taylor and Introvert Rockstar and the Amazing Lucas. They are all like this.
When it comes to racism, right? I don't want to say it, but the reality is being a president of a civil rights organization, I have to speak truth to power. I have to call it out. I have to educate people, right? And yet at the end of the day, I want to say this word because they like to say it. They like to call us a race baiter. And I'm like, race baiter? Race is the reality that I live in every day. It's a sad reality. It's a reality that I don't want to live in. It's a reality that I don't want to educate my black African American sons, that one day somebody might judge you because of the color of your skin and not the content of your character or how many A's or B's you get in school, right? I don't want to teach my children that, but I have to teach my children that if I want to keep them safe.
First, he claims that he has tried so hard to keep race out of the picture, even though he was the first to inject race into the picture.
Black people in America don't have to pull the race card. It's what we live as a reality every day.
Now he says that he has no choice. A black kid stabbed a white kid to death. In his mind, this is an example of white privilege. You said you wanted to keep your kid safe. What about that kid you nearly killed with your bare hands? What about him? Millions of black parents don't teach their kids this crap. Their kids go on to get good grades, go to college, and be successful, productive citizens. The kind of people I don't mind living next door to. The ones that you teach are the ones that end up getting shot by the cops because they've been taught to defy lawful authority. They're the ones that end up bitter. They've been told by the likes of you that the deck is stacked against them. If they apply to college, they'll get rejected. If they work hard, they'll get ripped off because whitey. And if they get pulled over by the cops, they'll get shot. You spend your waking hours convincing black youth that there's no point in working hard, obeying laws, and being honest. So their mamas end up yelling into a megaphone, "No justice, no peace," after cops paint the sidewalk with their kids' brains. If you think I'm being unfair, just go to the black YouTubers' channels who don't buy into this malarkey. The Hodge Twins and Black Conservative Perspective, Strategic Eyes, the Carter Family, AG Tactical. What do you notice? They are rarely in a bad mood. They're jovial. They have positive outlooks on life. Those are the shows that I like to watch. Now go to the other side. All those race hustling channels I mentioned earlier, they're always pulling their viewers down. They're bitter, angry people. Screw them.
And the reality is over 400 years of yet slavery and oppression of black people, I'm not going to sit here and do an injustice to my ancestors and the people who sacrificed and did so much, whose shoulders I sit on right now, by yet allowing silence to yet contribute to yet violence, right? And so with that being said, I just wanted people to hear from me. That conduct is yet indicative of what we've continued to say from the beginning of this case, right? And I just want people to know, man, just take it for what it is, right? And there are going to be a number of people that defend him and call it grieving and call it this and all of those different types of stuff, right? You challenge him on something, he gets mad, and yet he start acting erratic, right?
Even if true, and it's certainly not, that Jeff is acting this way, who can blame him for getting mad and acting erratic? Carmelo killed his son. How would you act if someone killed your son? Oh, look who I'm talking to. The Grand Poobah Baby Shaker.
It's the same continued pattern, right? Luckily, NGAN has been doing this more than 11 years, and we're true to this, not new to this. And the reality is that sending idle threats to me, it's pretty much a waste of time. But the reality is, this is what we live in. This is the world that we live in, right? And so I just want to thank everybody who sent that to us, to make sure that we was aware of it. And y'all, this is going to be a long stretch.
And you're going to make it seem longer. Enough. I can't stand him. God, I hate him. I just really hate this dude. And I don't really hate people for the most part, but I hate him. He's a disgusting, vile individual. And whatever misfortune befalls him, he absolutely deserves. Like my video and subscribe to my channel.
Nobody in the public media has one video camera, but we got the video of Kyle Rittenhouse with an AK-47 shooting 3 people in the back.